So Chris Paul has officially opted out of the last year of his deal with the Phoenix Suns that would have paid him in excess of $44 million going into the 2021-22 NBA season. And I know there are a lot of people out there saying, why in the heck would CP3 turn down $44 million? Phoenix ain't going to pay them that again per year. You're right. He's not going to get paid $44 million a year. But understand where Chris is coming from. If he opts out of he opted out of the deal. He's trying to get a longer-term deal, so he's playing the long game. It ain't about just the 1 year $44 million. He's probably trying to get something along the lines of a 3-year $100 million deal. Again, taking a little bit less per year, but giving yourselves a longer contract, which will essentially run him to the end of his prime, his career, maybe even. Chris just turned 36 in May. A 3-year deal is what he's looking for. You know, that'll get him to 39, 40. I mean, what are y'all expecting the brother at that point? I mean, he's had a history of not being healthy a lot of seasons. Last year was a blessing for Chris Paul. I don't think expecting that of him playing 70 games in a regular season and then, a long playoff run like he did with the Suns. I don't think that's realistic every year. You can get that maybe 1 or 2 more years. This is just great negotiating for Chris Paul. You strike when the iron is hot. That's how it goes in business. And that's what Chris is doing. I thought that he lost a little bit of leverage because if Chris goes on the open market, I feel like the Phoenix Suns can kind of call his bluff. Like, do you really want to go to New York at this point in your career? Leave again? That'll be your 3rd team. Heck, your 4th team in as many years. Like, do you really want to go do it again, CP3 in New York? Like, maybe the Phoenix Suns, whose owner is known to be a tad bit on the cheaper side, relatively speaking. Do you really want to go in the open market again and go play for New York? Like, how many teams could really afford Chris Paul at 30-some-odd million in cap? Like, were you going to go to Dallas? Where you going to go? I don't think there's really anywhere else Chris is going to go. Hopefully, him and the Suns can work out a deal. It'll probably be, like I said, 3 years, $100 million, I think is the number that would fit both sides if the Suns want to do it. Depends on how they look at this 1-year run with Chris. Do they look at it as we know for a fact we had no business being where we was at. If not for injuries to Anthony Davis or Jamal Murray or Kawhi Leonard, we wouldn't have been in the finals to begin with. Or do we look at it as like, yo, we're 1 or 2 pieces away from going back to the NBA finals and potentially winning this thing? I don't know how Phoenix looks at it. My guess would be the latter, and they probably pay their guy. I don't see Chris going anywhere else. To me, that would be a travesty for the NBA. I like what Chris is doing in Phoenix with Book, and I think they're going to probably run it back. It'll probably take 3 years to do it. Chris is playing the long game. He opts out of that $44 million deal. And by the way, just real quick, somebody's going to say, hey, why not just take the $44 million this year and go in free agency next year if you're Chris? That's fair. But to expect Chris to be playing the ball that he was playing this year, average around 16 points, 9 assists, some had him in the MVP conversation. I did not, but some did. I just don't think that's realistic to keep asking that of this man. Like him playing 70 games, Chris ain't never been that healthy in his career. Like, this was a one-off. Now, does that mean he's going to only be available for 30 games next year? No, I'm not saying that, but what he did, this is maybe his best year ever. I just don't think that's realistic going forward. Strike when you got the leverage. Go get the money in the years now.